for Celtic. Time now to sit back and enjoy the action. It's Shakhtar Donetsk against Celtic in the Champions League with Pat Bonner and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks, Kenny. A crescendo of noise as the teams take to the field at Legia's Polish Army Stadium here in Warsaw. A first home game in inverted commas in the Polish capital for this Shakhtar Donetsk side, who've had to get used to a transient existence in the 8 years since the first rumblings of war in the Donbass area of Ukraine forced them from their home. For Celtic, it's a first away game in the Champions League since a 7-1 defeat by Paris Saint-Germain in November of 2017. They found life difficult on their travels in this competition with just 2 wins from 33, but they could do their hopes of progressing from Group F a great deal of good by adding to that tally this evening. The Champions League anthem rings round the stadium. We're short, I have to say, of the expected 30,000 capacity, but the crowd is beginning to fill up inside the Polish Army Stadium, and Shakhtar playing their first match, as I mentioned, in this stadium in the Champions League, as they not allowed to play in their home country. Celtic and the home side lining up in there for their team photo, and the Celtic fans across to our right, about 2,000 of them have travelled in the hope of seeing their team come away with a victory, get them off the mark in the Champions League this season after a very commendable performance for the first hour at least of that game against Real Madrid last week, but ultimately no points, which was exactly what Ange Postecoglou was bemoaning. The two team captains, Callum McGregor is in the centre circle with the officials, along with his Ukrainian counterpart Taras Stepanenko, very experienced Ukrainian. I'll just run you through the sides again quickly before kick-off here. It's for Celtic, as the guys were talking about, Haksabanovic and Kyogo are back into the starting lineup with Abada and Yakimakis dropping out. It's Hart in goal, Juranovic, Carter Vickers, Jensen, Taylor, McGregor, O'Reilly, Hatate in midfield, Jota and Haksabanovic either side of Kyogo. The home side with Trubin in goal, back four of Taylor, Bondar, Matvienko and Konoplia. Stepanenko's the sitting midfielder, Sved, Bondarenko, Sudakov and Mudryk in the midfield four, and Zubkov the striker for Shakhtar, who are ready to go with Celtic still in their huddle. The home side will wear their orange and black stripes home kit, black shorts, black socks. Celtic, as ever, in their traditional green and white hoops, white shorts, green and white hooped socks. It will be Shakhtar who will get us underway here this evening, and they are going from right to left as we look at the match from the back of the main stand here. The referee is a 33-year-old Swede, Glenn Newberg, taking charge of his first Champions League match. He did take charge of Sarajevo against Celtic in a Champions League qualifier 3 years ago. Well, this is him making his bow on the big stage, and Celtic hoping to get their first points on the board in Group F as they look to make a positive impact. Shakhtar, though, looking to build on a fabulous 4-1 win away to Leipzig, and they are off and running here in Warsaw, and immediately the ball's given away, and it's Haksabanovic who has started on the left with Jota on the right. Packy, you're saying that they will more or less be interchangeable as the evening progresses.
I would think so, and that's good. That's a real important strategy when you can change over and you're still effective depending on what side you play on. So I would expect that to happen throughout the game.
The ball is back with Anatoly Trubin, the 21-year-old goalkeeper, who's got a couple of caps for his country already, and as I mentioned earlier on, is known, apparently nicknamed by his former Brazilian teammates here at Shakhtar as the Ukrainian Courtois. Almost 2 meters tall,
He's got a long way to go to be as good as Courtois, I've got to say, because he's an exceptional goalkeeper and improved. There's a chance.
Yeah, that's a poor bit of control by Stepanenko. First chance for Celtic. Kyogo saved by the goalkeeper. An opening almost inside the first 60 seconds as Celtic almost off to a flyer. They've taken the corner quickly. The goalkeeper did well to save that one. Jota gets it back all the way back to Juranovic on the halfway line. He just leaves it to McGregor. We'll revisit that chance in just a second with Pat Bonner here as Juranovic comes forward. It's given away by Taylor, who's almost in the right wing position just at the moment, taking the inverted fullbacks almost to a ridiculous degree just at the moment, but it's back in the possession of Shakhtar. Konoplia, but it was a bright start by Celtic. It was Stepanenko with a loose pass, Paki, and Celtic were almost in.
They were almost in, and you can see the pace of Kyogo getting across the defender to get to the ball first. The goalkeeper, I was just saying that he wasn't Courtois, but he certainly made a huge save, stuck out his left leg and deflected it away for the corner. But a good start from Celtic, high press as we expect them to do in getting that ball into the opposition final third, attacking third.
Yeah, Kyogo looked sharp back in the starting lineup after injuring his shoulder so early in the Old Firm game. But takes his place instead of Giacomakis. Here's Jota back onto the halfway line for Carter Vickers. Celtic have started well, first couple of minutes in, and it's Taylor again picking up and finds Jota out on the right hand side, quickly closed down by Konoplia. Jota looking to take him on. It's a good early cross. Keeper gets a decent punch away, flying through the air to get two fists to it, but Celtic pick up once more.
Yeah, Celtic in control of the game at the moment. There are lots of possession, and Shakhtar has just dropped back to make it almost two banks of four, and even the two strikers have dropped back beyond the circle, keeping it very compact. But Celtic been able to. That was a good cross in from Jota with his right foot on this side. Normally he's on the other side, cutting in on his right foot to have a shot at goal. This time it was a cross. The goalkeeper picking up a good position and getting two hands, two fists to it to clear.
Here's Jens, plays it square to Carter Vickers. Every Celtic player apart from Joe Hart inside the Shakhtar half right now as the Scottish champions begin well here in Warsaw. Back with Carter Vickers, square to German Jens, and out to the left hand side. And it's Haksabanovic knocking it back to Taylor. Tries to get it back to Haksabanovic, but he's quickly closed down. And McGregor's well challenged, but does really well to escape a couple of tackles. Taylor takes over, squeezes it through Haksabanovic on the left hand side, about 10 yards from the goal line. Plays in Taylor across, goal! Just wide. Kyogo just failing to get the touch. It will be out for a corner, but Celtic started on the front foot, could have had a couple of goals already.
Yeah, tenacious play by McGregor. He nearly lost possession but kept a hold of it, and eventually they worked the ball down the right hand. Here's a cross.
Haksabanovic into the 6 yard box, headed high in there, not quite out of the penalty area yet. Shakhtar struggling to get up the park right now. Celtic on top in these opening exchanges. It's Hatate in the middle of the park, just plays it square to Jens just inside the Shakhtar half. He steps forward, the centre back out to the left hand side now to Jota, who's over there for the moment, spins away from his marker, sends it left footed cross in, and it's a header on goal again from O'Reilly, who got his head to it from about 12 yards out, straight at the keeper this time. And it's Shakhtar 0, Celtic 0, but Celtic looking good.
Yeah, another good cross into the box. Jota over on the left. I did say they were going to be changing over, and this time he was over on the left, but a great cross, and just got beyond the ball a little bit. If he was maybe got his timing of his run into the box, he would have come onto that one, because it was a free header, was just behind him. And here they are on the front foot again, Celtic.
Yeah, Taylor almost giving that away to Jota, but he does well to recover, and Shakhtar can try and come up the park. But Celtic have started almost like the home team, you would have to say. They've been the dominant side in the opening stages.
Yeah, very much dominant and control of the game. But when you say that, all those European teams, they're almost trained to play on the counter attack. They'll sit in their defensive positions, but as soon as they win the ball, you'll see 2-3 players making those runs beyond the ball, the player with the ball, and they become dangerous.
There's Carter Vickers just inside his own half. 0-0 here in the Polish Army Stadium of Legia Warsaw. It's Jota who has stayed out on the left hand side for the time being. Lucas Taylor, the Brazilian fullback, gets it back to Bondar, the centre back. His attempted clearance though is nodded forward by McGregor. Hatate looking to link with Jota. A little bit slack there from the Japanese, and it's out for a throw-in on the far side. almost 6 minutes on the clock in Warsaw. Shakhtar Donetsk 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, it suits Celtic, this type of game. This is exactly the type of game that is very natural to them, and you can see them at times dominating the ball, and they are so far in this game dominating, and that's them on the front foot, and they're used to it. So here's the counter-attack.
Yeah, Shakhtar trying to build, but it's a loose pass. It's out to Mudryk, the exciting left winger of Shakhtar, who by all accounts Arsenal are keeping tabs on. Shakhtar have the ball at the back. It's Matvienko, one of 4 players in the starting lineup who played against Scotland at Hampden in June as Ukraine ended Scotland's World Cup hopes, only to have their own dreams of playing at the World Cup quashed by Wales in the playoff final. As Carter Vickers just lets the ball escape under his boot, but plenty time to retrieve the situation. Knocks it back to Joe Hart just outside his 6-yard box. Hart takes a couple of touches, plays it square to Jens. He was being closed down there by Zubkov. Took a real chance, but Celtic emerge from the back with the ball. Stepanenko, good challenge on Hatate, out play over on the far side. Quick throw in taken by Jota up to Kyogo on the angle of the box on the left hand side. Back to Jota it goes. Infield to Hatate, but 30 yards from goal. Tries to get away from Surikov. It's picked up by McGregor, and now Juranovic on the right hand side. Haksabanovic, who has begun to patrol the right flank, goes down under the challenge there of Zubkov, who is back doing a bit of defending for his side. Free kick is quickly taken. Celtic have it. McGregor out to the right hand side to Juranovic, swings it in towards the back post, too much on it. Lucas Taylor takes a poor touch though, presents it to Jota on the left hand side of the penalty area. Lucas Taylor recovers, but then Greg Taylor that is, has it back, only to knock it behind for a goal kick. 8 minutes played in this Champions League tie. Shakhtar 0, Celtic 0, but the signs have been pretty promising for Celtic early on.
Yeah, just to go all the way back to that time that Carter Vickers, he just miscontrolled the ball, but he had the faith in his goalkeeper. He gave him a pass almost a yard from his own goal. He had the ability, and that's how Joe Hart has improved also. I think he'll make the odd mistake, but I think he's improved that whole situation about building the game and being part of the team, and he did very well on that occasion.
Celtic have won the ball high up the park again. It was Haksabanovic doing the hard work there, and he gives it to O'Reilly. McGregor gets it back to O'Reilly once more, and out to Haksabanovic on the right hand side. Strong challenge, a foul in fact by Konoplia, and Celtic will have the free kick pretty much down at the corner flag on the right hand side, and a decent opportunity here to try and threaten the Shakhtar goal once again.
Yeah, let's see what they come up with. It's almost like a corner is right out of it, 2 yards from the corner flag, so it's almost like a corner. O'Reilly over the ball, whether he'll take it, he has taken it short to Jota on the edge of the box. Yeah,
Jota right hand side, swings it in. Carter Vickers rises, but he can't get the header on target. It's gone behind for a Shakhtar goal kick. Shakhtar 0, Celtic 0, but Celtic can be well pleased with the way they've started this game. However, the important thing is, Paki, as they found to their cost against Real Madrid, that you have to take your chances when you're on top.
Yeah, well, that's it. They've had a couple of chances. Good save from the goalkeeper in the first instance and one of the chances. The second one was that ball across the 6-yard box, and they were unfortunate. The defender just got a nick on it and took it away. So they have made a couple of chances, lots of possession at them. But here's this counter-attack I talked about. 3-4 players now breaking up the pitch from Shakhtar.
Mudryk with a heavy touch allows Juranovic though to clear, and Haksabanovic is in an onside position. Kyogo wasn't, but he left it. Haksabanovic plays in. Hatate across goal, must be, it is! Celtic in front, and Hatate claims the goal. An amazing counter-attack from Celtic, and they have the goal they've been threatening from the opening minutes. It's Shakhtar 0, Celtic 1.
Yeah, just when you've seen obviously Shakhtar on that counter-attack, they committed players forward, and Juranovic did really well to counter the counter-attack, and when he played it long, it was just almost like a clearance. Good understanding from Kyogo, who was standing in offside position, but on the left-hand side, I'm not so sure who it was out. Oh, was it Tati? Was it? No, it wasn't Tati. Somebody on the left-hand side was standing in a good position. He brought it forward, give it to Tati, who rounded and struck it into the back of the net to give Celtic the perfect start here. And that's what they deserve, because they've dominated the start of this game. We're 10 minutes, nearly 11 minutes into it, and they've dominated.
Well, that's a superb start from Celtic.
Haksabanovic that was out on the left-hand side, I think, that passed to Tati.
Tati was up in support, and when he was slipped in, he was able to slot it past the goalkeeper. Kyogo was there. He might have tapped it in himself just to make sure, but he left it to roll over the line from his fellow Japanese, and Celtic have the goal. As you say, they deserve, and importantly, just as I was referring to a minute ago, they get the goal while they're on top, and it puts them in an excellent position.
It's so important to get that early goal. We talked about it last week against Real Madrid. They didn't get it, and then you can see the game creeping away from them. This time now they've got something really to build on.
They're in possession once more. It's Carter Vickers out to Jota on the right hand side. He's lost possession. And Shakhtar have started slowly, although here they come with Mudryk leading the counter. Tries to slip that in for Zubkov, but overhit the pass. Zubkov had checked out the run in any case. Off his line comes Joe Hart and immediately bowls it out to that left hand side to Haksabanovic, who once again has switched over to the left as he and Jota interchange. The referee wants a word with someone here.
Yeah, you can see the danger of Mudryk. He picks the ball up in his own half and just drives forward with it and cuts on the inside, and just the pass was overhit to him through the Joe Hart, but he looks as if he could be a danger player.
I think there's a problem here potentially with the referee's communication system with his fellow officials. He's certainly motioning as if something on his sleeve needs fixed.
Yeah, well, that's important to them now, because they're all linked up, no doubt. They'll change something over and he'll be back on the pitch. But it gives Shakhtar a little breather, because Celtic have just dominated, and from a point of view of chasing the ball, that's hard work, there's no doubt about it. You could see it from Celtic last week when Real Madrid had good possession. To the extent Celtic had to work really hard. So much better when you have good possession, and it suits the Celtic team, no doubt, and they have the quality, the technique from the players, the ability to the movement on and off the ball.
Back underway then. The referee is happy, and Celtic have valuable leads. Rio Hatate on the score sheets for the visitors, as Jens picks up at the back for Celtic to his captain Callum McGregor. Back to Jens once more, still inside his own half square for Carter Vickers, who looks over the top for Kyogo. It was well read on that occasion by Bondar, who gets his lines clear, and Mudryk picks up, and he's taken out of play by Juranovic, and it will be Shakhtar free kick. But they have been caught cold by Celtic, who have started pretty much as they've started most games this season. Practically, they've been very effective, and they're just carrying that form on into the European arena.
Yeah, listen, when they have the ball, when they're in possession, when they're knocking about that 1-2 pass, just seen obviously Shakhtar's playing with their back four, the four midfielders, and then they're trying to play with two up front to go and almost deal with Carter Vickers, Jens and McGregor. It's a 3v2, and Celtic are just passing their way around about it.
And Celtic have won it back once more. It's Callum McGregor out to the right hand side for Jota, who's causing problems for Konoply on this side. Tries to thread the ball forward for the runner Matt O'Reilly. He can't quite latch onto it, and it's seen out of play by Matvienko for a goal kick.
Yeah, good defending, came across really well and covered that run of Matt O'Reilly, Matvienko, and then just used his experience to let that ball run out of play for the goal kick. But he's taken everything short so far, and young goalkeeper also, 21 years old. He comes in and replaces the very, very experienced Patayov, who's been around this club forevermore, and it's a big night for that young man.
Yeah, he's certainly established himself as the new number one, as he's just taken a chance against Kyogo, and Kyogo's so close to sliding the ball into the net. but Trubin just managed to play the ball out to the right-hand side.
Just got it, as we were just talking about him, just got it in the nick of time. But obviously that's the pace of Kyogo. You know, every single time there's a pass, you look at it from that perspective, he will be on you like a flash, and he did it on that occasion. And the young Trubin, the young goalkeeper in the Shakhtar defense, and the goal, got away with it
by a fraction. He was able to get that pass away because Kyogo was upon him. Celtic play out from the back once more. It's over with Taylor on the left-hand side. Now Jens. Joe Hart's goal yet to be threatened. It's been an excellent start from Ange Postecoglou's side. That's a poor pass from Carter Vickers, almost caught out, but Taylor manages to pick up and fires it out to the left-hand side, looking for Haksabanovic, who couldn't quite catch it. He's had a bright start on his first start, Packy.
Yeah, listen, he's a direct player. He's like all those wingers that Celtic have at the moment on their books. Every single one of them have got something that as soon as you pick the ball up, first thing in their mind is go and attack the fullback and get either a cross or make a chance for yourself out of it.
There's Knopfler coming forward. His pass inside is cut out by Callum McGregor, and it'll be a throw in to Shakhtar Donetsk, who've yet to really make an impression on the game. Certainly made an impression in the Champions League last week with that 4-1 victory in Leipzig. Here's Zubkov as they look to try and get back on level terms. Picked up by Mudryk, and back to Knopfler on the left-hand side. Celtic lead by a goal to nil. Rio Hatate in the 11 minutes. Now played 17 as Lucas Taylor picks up more or less on the halfway line, knocks it back to Bondar, centre back. He plays it square to Matvienko. Shakhtar trying to play their way into the game, but they've been hounded so far by Celtic, who play that pressing game. Shakhtar enjoying a little bit of possession now, out to the right hand side. It goes with really yet to see Shved make any sort of impression. There's a claim there though from Shved that he was impeded as he goes into the penalty area. The referee had a look at it and waved it away.
Yeah, I would like to see that one again because he's cut on the inside. I thought Greg Taylor just stepped out initially to the winger when Lucas Taylor was on the inside and maybe the pass, but he drove inside, Greg. And I just wonder whether he just clipped him. But referee was in a great position to see it. He just right away waved it away.
We do have VAR, of course, in action in all the Champions League ties, so in theory no mistakes should be made. We know that's not always the case, but here comes Shakhtar again, looking to try and find an equaliser. It's cleared by Jens from the near post area. Shakhtar for the first time causing the Celtic defence a few issues, but then Haksabanovic manages to play that off the Shakhtar player on the far side, who was Marian Shved, the player who went down a moment or two ago, and it will be a throw into Celtic. And
it's the best spell that Shakhtar's had in the game so far. We're what, 18, 19, nearly 19 minutes into the game, and the last couple of minutes they've had a little bit more possession. Celtic been just pinned back a little bit, and it allows them to play their attacking game, and they've picked decent passes.
Shakhtar still have it, and it's all the way back to their goalkeeper Anatoly Trubin, just outside his penalty area. As Packy says, into the 20th minute here. Shakhtar 0, Celtic 1. Remember, we'll have Rangers at home to Napoli right after this game. A huge night for Scottish football, as the two Scottish teams look to try and get some points on the board. Celtic looking good in these opening 20 minutes, but a long way to go. Here's Matvienko at the back for Shakhtar. Stepanenko closed down by Kyogo, gets it forward though to Zubkov. Back with Stepanenko, the holding midfielder and Shakhtar captain. Picks up once more on the halfway line, tries to loop that over the top. Carter Vickers watched the run of Mudryk, but it's been given away by Callum McGregor.
Yeah, there's a little bit of slack from Callum McGregor there. He was in a great position, and now they're on the counter-attack. I think that's really good position now for Celtic.
Yeah, Haksabanovic into the penalty area. He comes from the left-hand side, tries to get it across goal, but he gets the cross all wrong, straight into the arms of Trubin. And that was a real opportunity for Celtic to go on the counter-attack again. Pass from O'Reilly, as soon as they won it back, for Haksabanovic, and the Montenegrins should surely have done better with the cross.
He tried to play with the outside of his left foot from that sort of left-hand side, and he almost had it straight at the goalkeeper, and Kyogo picked up a great position at the back post, just spun off his marker, but I don't have a problem with this from Celtic's perspective, just dropping back, just waiting for the moment and hoping that they'll win it back and then hitting the opposition on the counter-attack, as long as they don't give anything away from it.
It was a strong challenge by Carter Vickers, got plenty of the ball though, and Mudryk felt that one as the ball breaks. Definitely been a better spell though in the last 5 minutes for the
more
home
possession.
side.
More possession. That's what I said that they've had in this last five minutes or so.
Here's Lucas Taylor on the right hand side coming forward, looking to put his namesake Greg Taylor under a bit of pressure, but he goes down very easily, and might well have earned himself a yellow card for that, but play just continues as Celtic take the goal kick, and forward they come, looking to try and get a second goal. O'Reilly for the goal scorer Hatate in the middle of the park, back with O'Reilly, and then back again to Jens, almost in the halfway line to Carter Vickers, square once more to Jens. The Carl Starfelt still injured. Jens keeps his place alongside Carter Vickers, who has the ball right now, and then it's out to Jota on the right hand side, just clips it back into the centre circle for Jens. Celtic just slowing the tempo down just for the moment.
Yeah, it is a very slow tempo at the moment, just possession for the sake of it, rather than maybe, as Aidan was talking before the game, when you get into a good position, can you hit that forward pass? Can you take 2 or 3 players out? That type of pass there that we've seen from Jens.
Hatate goes down under a bit of pressure and does win the free kick. As I mentioned earlier on, Celtic have only won 2 of their 33 away Champions League games, most recently, and the only time they've kept a clean sheet actually against Anderlecht. And Aidan McGeady won't thank me for mentioning the only other win was against his Spartak Moscow side. Other than that, Celtic have failed to win on the road, but they've started well this evening and have the 1-goal advantage as Carter Vickers moves forward on the right hand side, slides the pass for Jota, tried the little flick, he was well matched there by Konoplia, and it breaks back into the right back position where Carter Vickers just knocks it back to Joe Hart, just inside his penalty area on the right hand side. Just leisurely strokes the ball up to the halfway line. Jota wins the flick on, but it falls kindly for Matvienko. He goes back to his goalkeeper, takes one touch, quickly closed down by Kyogo. Good clearance though by the keeper, a pass more than a clearance actually for Konoplia, and forwards come Shakhtar once more. That was Sudakov looking for the run of Mudryk, but it was overhit, and Celtic have it once more. Hart plays it out to McGregor on the edge of his penalty area. Juranovic forward looking for O'Reilly. Konoplia's there though instead, and Stepanenko now just swivels on the halfway line, looks for options ahead of him.
Yeah, they're growing in confidence a little bit, I've got to say. Shakhtar, the tempo of the game suits them now. It's slowed right down so they can knock passes. They're building up their little bit of confidence and they're trying to pick their passes.
Played forward for Konoplia, 24 minutes in. Celtic have a 1-goal lead thanks to Rio Hatate's 11th minute goal. It's gone behind for a Celtic goal kick. Konoplia was looking for the corner, but the referee and his assistant decide it came off him last, and it will be a Celtic goal kick quickly taken, and it's out to Juranovic on the right hand side. Now Carter Vickers just outside his penalty area. The crowd certainly swelled since kick-off, not quite capacity, but still, considering it's not a home game in the true sense of the word, it is a healthy turnout. The locals have snapped up a lot of the tickets to coming back their lodgers, if you like. Here is Haksabanovic on the halfway line, plays in McGregor. McGregor out to the left hand side now. Hatate right on the touchline on that left hand side. Back it goes to McGregor. Taylor in support, plays the 1-2 with his captain. Then O'Reilly back to Haksabanovic, given away by Celtic and picked up in the midfield by Sudakov. Sudakov, the number 8 for the Ukrainians, 20-year-old. They have had to blood a few young players, perhaps a little bit quicker than they would have liked because of the exodus of so many of their foreign talent, so many of their Brazilians. I think there's about 15 first team players left after the outbreak of war, and they've replaced some of those, but mainly it's squads of Ukrainians, many of whom have come through the youth academy here at Shakhtar. Here's Surikov, who's one of them, halted though by Jens. And it will be a Shakhtar throw-in over on the far side, right-hand side.
Yeah, I would like to see a little bit more movement from Celtic off the ball. They're staying in their positions. There's not that rotation that we come to expect at times from them. Maybe they just set themselves up that way. But I just like when they get the ball at certain times, I just like to see a little bit more of quick movement, because I think this team now, they've sucked them out a little bit. They're almost out in the halfway line, and there is spaces to exploit.
Mudryk has won himself on his side a free kick for a foul by Jota out on the left-hand side, but a lot of Shakhtar bodies have gone forward for this free kick to be taken by Mudryk himself to the edge of the penalty area, headed away by Kyogo from the edge of his own penalty area, and he immediately chases forward, and Lucas Taylor goes all the way back to his goalkeeper at the edge of the penalty area, and Mudryk will be offside if he challenges for that. He doesn't, he leaves it for a free header for Juranovic. Then Jota finds O'Reilly, who was fouled there surely by Konoplia, and indeed the referee agrees and awards Celtic the free kick midway inside the Shakhtar half, and it was slack play there by Shakhtar. I don't really know why Lucas Taylor felt he had to go all the way back to his keeper, who then went long, and there's so many of them still offside.
And there were so many bodies he had up in the box. You know, sometimes when you clear a corner like that, sometimes then people are out of position. The defenders aren't quite in where they normally, and sometimes that ball's played back in. You can catch teams out very quickly.
27 minutes in here, back in Celtic, a goal to the good.
There's a goal to the good, but the pace has gone out of the game a little bit now.
Well, it was a quick free kick taken too quick for the referee's liking, but Jota was in so much space, and he's still in space if Shakhtar don't wise up. Eventually Surikov goes out to cover the space that he'd moved into. It will be O'Reilly to take the free kick eventually, left-footed towards the back of the penalty area. It's Jens who wins the header. Carter Vickers is in there too. Taylor, now Jens with the shot, saved by the legs of Trubin out of the penalty area. It comes up, it was a decent effort from Jens, got it on target. Repelled by the goalkeeper's legs.
Yeah,
Celtic pick up again.
It fell to Jens inside the box, and the goalkeeper came up with another big save. It was quite a tight angle. You know, he's got to get it almost down to the side of him. It's going to almost hit it straight at him, but it was a big chance for Celtic again.
Yep, it sure was. Couldn't find the second goal. McGregor picks out O'Reilly as they continue to come forward. Haksabanovic will try and keep that in on the left-hand side. He's managed to get into the penalty area. Kyogo couldn't bring it under control, but I do think Haksabanovic had just failed to keep it in the first instance. It will be a goal kick to Shakhtar. Almost half an hour on the clock in Warsaw, and the good news is that it's Shakhtar 0, Celtic 1. Rio Hatate with a goal in 11 minutes.
Yeah, and it's an important goal because this game is settled down now. I think the tempo and the pace of the game at this moment in time, in the last probably 10, maybe a little bit longer, has suited Shakhtar.
Yeah, that's a good pass though, and another one for Mudryk. Mudryk is in behind Juranovic. Big chance for Shakhtar for the equaliser. It's there. Brilliant finish from Mudryk, and Celtic for the first time are opened up, and Mudryk raced through, and Joe Hart could do nothing to stop the left-footed shot from inside the penalty area. And the first time they've been inside the Celtic penalty area, more or less, and they've got the equaliser. It's Shakhtar 1, Celtic 1.
Well, he showed his quality, didn't he? You know, brilliant finish from him. Balls, Celtic give it away, almost missed the tackle in the middle of the pitch, but as soon as that ball's played in behind Juranovic, the pace was really good, and then he had the quality finish at the end. They lifted high into the back of the net over Joe Hart. Really good finish, and that's what we're saying. It's the pace has suited Shakhtar in the last while, and they've settled into the game, and you can see that they have quality, and especially on this left-hand side with Mudryk, who looks like a real good player.
Well, he scored the third goal and he set up a couple against RB Leipzig, and he tucked that away with real coolness and composure. But there was a couple of really good passes in the middle of the park just leading up to Mudryk's finish, which also deserve mention. Paki Celtic, as I say, cut open for the first time, but cut open they were.
Yeah, well, that's it. You know, once they lift the pace, Shakhtar, they're in good positions to hit those passes. and then they become a real threat, and that suits them, and that's how these teams play. They don't always come in pressure, but when they have the quality in that front, and when they have a player like Mudryk, he has that ability with pace and a quality finish. They're always looking for him.
This is his second goal of the season. The 21-year-old is quoted as saying it was his dream to play in the English Premier League. He couldn't turn down a move to Arsenal should it materialise in January, but just for the moment he is serving Shakhtar very well, as Celtic have a free kick and a bit of dissent in the middle of the park there from a couple of Shakhtar players, the referee having none of it. No yellow cards shown though. A Celtic free kick, but they've got to respond now, Packer.
Yeah, they've got up the tempo a little bit for me, and not just so much just the passing. I think that movement off the ball has got to be a little bit more dynamic, and they will create. Now there's a test for them mentally. Also there's a test when they lose a goal after dominating for so long.
Lance Postecoglou, of course, he'll be disappointed at losing the equaliser, but will he be disappointed at that drop off in tempo that had occurred?
I think so. And as I say, it's not just about the passing of the ball and doing all that, but it's just that movement, that sharpness off the ball just was gone for the last 10-15 minutes, and just has allowed Shakhtar to get into the game and feel comfortable.
Yeah, they certainly are looking a lot more comfortable than the opening 10 minutes or so. We've seen a lot more of the ball as well, as Trubin just knocks it out to the left-hand side for Konoplia. 1-1. Shakhtar have pegged Celtic back, and here's the goal scorer, Mudryk, coming forward then the left-hand side again. Backed up by Konoplia, the left back, slides it forward. Mudryk's inside the penalty area. Can he get it across goal? He can. It's Sven with the two efforts, and he scored in the second attempt. The flag goes up, and it will be ruled out. Well, it's one of those ones where the assistant flag's so late. Mudryk did look to me to be offside, Packy, and eventually the officials agree, but it's one of those ones where the fans in the stadium have already begun to celebrate until they see the flag. So too the Shakhtar players. But Shved, who missed his kick initially, then tucked it away at the second attempt. It will be double checked, of course, by VAR, but it looks like Celtic have escaped there.
Yeah, I think he's just offside. They are checking it again, but yeah, it was probably over the goal line too before it was crossed. But I think it was an offer offside because the assistant had this flag up over that side. And the ball was taken by Joe Hart outside the 6-yard box, so it must have been for that initial offside. But they've lost it a little bit here, Celtic. Now this team has grown, absolutely grown in confidence.
Yeah, here they come once more. It's Zubkov on the left-hand side of the penalty. They're picking up from Mudryk, who all of a sudden really looks in the mood. It's Sudakov out to the right-hand side for Lucas Taylor. That would have been a real ironic blow if Shved had been the man to put Shakhtar ahead after a fairly miserable time in Glasgow. Really got to show what he was made of. Zubkov has a shot, charged down, breaks to Konoplia on the left hand side. Hart bravely down to gather the ball in his 6-yard box. That was good goalkeeping from Joe Hart. Already all of a sudden Celtic are under the cosh here.
Yeah, he picked up a good position there, Joe. Just took that yard off his near post and was able to cover probably about 4 or 5 yards out and got good hands to it. But there's another threat down, especially down this Juranovic's side, and of course Jota doesn't like to be coming back defending, and the full-back getting into a great position there to get that ball across the inside the 6-yard box. So there's a real threat here from Shakhtar at the moment. They're, as I said, always growing in confidence. And they have ability, there's no doubt about it, but Celtic just got to get that pass, get control of the game again, knock the ball around, but let's get a little bit more sharpness up front when somebody has that ball to create the opportunity.
Haksabanovic from the left hand side sweeps out to this near side looking for Jota, overhits it behind for a goal kick, and Celtic, having been so much on top in the opening 20 minutes or so of this game, have all of a sudden found themselves second best. I see Jens just trying to stretch off his groin, I think it is. He was involved in that cutting out of the ball across goal just a minute ago when Joe Hart went down to save it. There's going to be a goal kick taken again, as I think Kyogo was inside, infringing into the penalty area before the defender had played it. But yeah, Celtic all of a sudden do find themselves trying to keep themselves in the game rather than looking to go ahead, as they were looking pretty good in the opening stages. But this is Champions League, lest we forget, and the levels are particularly high. Despite a slow
kind
start.
of their own making a little bit, I would say, more than anything else. Just they haven't been able to keep the tempo up, and that's allowed then Shakhtar to get it back into the game. And goals do change games, as we know.
Here's Taylor on the right hand side, but stopped by Lucas Taylor, who then slips, almost allowing Greg Taylor back in, but does get it back to Bondar inside his own penalty area, clips up to the halfway line. We've played almost 36 minutes, and it's Shakhtar 1, Celtic 1. Shakhtar have a free kick, foul by Jens on the striker Zubkov, and Shakhtar definitely growing into this game more and more. And as the first half has gone on, they've looked the stronger side. At 1-1 it stands, and plenty of time still to go, but let's not forget, a point away from home is very rarely a bad result at this level. However, you do feel that if they have ambitions of, let's say, finishing second, if we assume rightly or wrongly that Real Madrid will go ahead and win it, you do feel that they probably have to come away to somewhere like this and win if they want to progress in the Champions League. Juranovic doing a good bit of defending there against Mudryk, and then emerges with possession, gets to Jota, and back to McGregor into his own penalty area to Carter Vickers, square for Jens, and Celtic just look to try and recapture the upper hand in the game with 8 minutes or so to half time. Might have found themselves a goal down just a few minutes ago, but the goal by Shved was chopped off. Here's Haksabanovic on the left hand side, goes down, but no free kick, says the referee, and Shakhtar have it back. Play it square across their own penalty area. It's Matvienko, 26-year-old Ukrainian international. Now Stepanenko, another of those who played at Hampden.
Yeah, they're getting out too easy also. You know, they're playing it across the back four and then into Stepanenko, and here they're on the...
Yeah, Shved takes the shot on, Hart gets a right glove to turn it round the post. Well, Shved was allowed to advance good 20 yards there before getting the shot away, and Joe Hart having to make the save, and it will be a Shakhtar corner as it remains 1 each.
It's a good save from Joe. He got his angles absolutely spot on and had to get that big hand to touch it round the post, but again, breaking forward very, very quickly. They built it from the back through midfield and get the ball wide then. And as soon as Fed got the ball, he went and attacked Greg Taylor on the inside and got that really good shot then. Good save from Joe.
Mudryk from the left-hand side to take the corner kick. Right-footed, swings it into the 6-yard box. There's a glancing header in there, which is just off target.
I'll tell you what.
And it's gone behind for another corner, but that was causing all sorts of problems inside the 6-yard box.
It's a good ball and bent in into that near post header. I don't know who got the header on it, but it was a right head. Joe had come for it, but was never getting it because of the trajectory of the ball, and it could have easily went in at the back post. But another corner for Shakhtar.
Yeah,
pressure on.
Shved from the right-hand side to take this one left-footed as Shakhtar look to go in front for the first time in the game. McGregor gets the header away. Certainly it was Konoplia was the Shakhtar player attacking the previous corner kick, but it came off a Celtic head last and behind for that corner. That one's well defended by McGregor, and it'll be a throw in this time to Shakhtar, right hand side, just a few yards away from the corner flag as they attack with 6 minutes left of an opening period, which has been a first half of two halves, if you like.
Absolutely.
Celtic dominating.
Total contrast in the way. Whoops.
Really lucky there from Matvienko, closed down by both O'Reilly and Kyogo. He knew nothing about the fact that he was able to keep possession there, because Celtic were almost in on goal as they would have been, but somehow he emerged with possession from that. He just got his control all wrong.
Lucky man, he's a lucky man on the halfway line, just inside the circle, and he got a bad touch, and he just got the break of the ball to come back out of it. Otherwise, it was going to end up with a 2v1 situation against the goalkeeper.
Stepanenko has overhit his pass, looking for Mudryk on this left-hand side, and it's out for a throw in to Celtic. But Kyogo again, he just surprises defenders, doesn't he? Because they're not expecting him to. He's 1 minute he's 10 yards away, the next he's right upon you.
Yeah, his real pace, and that closing down is an attribute that he has, along with scoring goals and his movement when they have the ball, but it's the movement when the opposition has the ball which is critical.
Juranovic with a long throw in for Hatate, but Hatate is penalised for the challenge there on Shved. just inside the Celtic half, and it will be a Shakhtar free kick just outside the centre circle, and it's played back the way to Matvienko.
Yeah, those little things are going for Shakhtar now, you know, little free kicks. Even the one where the player, the centre half, nearly lost it, just went for them. The game has kind of changed full circle from where it was at the start of this.
Konoplia has it back for Shakhtar, plays it infield for his captain Stepanenko. Out to the right hand side now for Lucas Taylor. Inside the final 5 minutes of the first period. Shakhtar 1, Celtic 1. Hatate's 11th minute opener, cancelled out by Mudryk in 29. Both goals good finishes. As Hatate picks up in the middle of the park, it's a loose ball, and he's able to find McGregor. McGregor harried there by Zubkov, but gets it back to Jens, and now it's out to the right hand side for Juranovic. Tries to clip one over the top looking for Jota. Jota is offside, the flag is up, and it will be a free kick to Shakhtar.
Yeah, they've done their homework, I think, a little bit when you consider that Celtic do play those long balls at times over the top for the likes of Jota or Kyogo or Haksabanovic playing right on the shoulder of people, but they just drop off and they cover each other very, very well.
Hatate wins the header in the middle of the park, but it's picked up again by Bondarenko. It won't be kept in though on the far side by Shved, and Celtic have the throw in midway inside the Shakhtar half as they look to try and finish the finish the first half on top, which is the way they started it very much. As Taylor looks to find Hatate, that's cut out though by Lucas Taylor, and Shakhtar can try and build down the right hand side. Loose pass though by the former Celt Shved.
Yeah, it's important last 3 or 4 minutes now at this half that could Celtic get something to take them in at half time. They certainly don't want to lose anything, that's for sure, and then let the manager do his work on them and get them back to what they were doing really well in that opening first 20 minutes.
Here's Carter Vickers about 15 yards inside his own half, plays it back the way to Jens. Jens out to the left hand side for Taylor, still inside his own half, slides it down the left wing. Haksabanovic does well to keep that in, gets it to Hatate. Now it's McGregor, still inside his own half, forward now for Kyogo on the halfway line, spins and gets out to Jota. Good ball. Jota moving forward now on the right hand side, up against Mudryk, onto the left foot, goes for goal, takes the deflection into the arms though of a grateful Anatoly Trudin. That could have gone anywhere. Shakhtar were the beneficiaries of a couple of big deflections in that win over RB Leipzig. Could have been punished by one there, but Jota's shot eventually fell tamely for the goalkeeper, and it remains Shakhtar 1, Celtic 1 with a couple of minutes of the half left.
Yeah, I didn't think there was an opportunity for him to really get a clean shot on target there, but you're right, a deflection could have taken it past the goalkeeper. Instead it takes it straight into his hands.
Here comes Celtic again. It's Haksabanovic, who's seen plenty of the ball in this opening periods and was involved in the opener for Hatate, who has the ball right now and spreads it from left to right out to Jota. Kills it with the first touch, moves away from Konoplia but back the way as the defender tries to stick with him, but Jota has lost him, gets it to McGregor. McGregor in the middle of the park out to the left hand side for Haksabanovic, in on the right foot for Jota. Jota looks up from right foot to left foot, tries to go past Stepanenko, a very firm challenge, and Jota stayed down. No foul, and Mudryk moves forward with pace in the middle of the park, gets out to the right hand side as Shakhtar look to try and find a second goal in the final minute of the opening 45. Down the right hand side they come, it's Shved. Hatate tries to see him out of play, stayed in for the moment. McGregor just clears his lines out for a throw in on the far side, and Shakhtar will have the throw. Again, it's going from end to end though.
There was a brilliant tackle from Stepanenko. That's the role he plays so well in front of his back four, and just when it looked as if Jota was going to get an opportunity to strike a goal, out he came and put a great tackle, and then he hit Celtic on the counter-attack again through their wide player Mudryk, running through the middle this time.
It was an old school tackle from Stepanenko, wasn't it? But he evidently got plenty of the ball with the referee in close proximity, and Jota was halted in his tracks as he tried to find a second Celtic goal. 1-1 as we play the last few seconds of the first 45. Milan, I see, are 1-0 up against Dinamo Zagreb with an Olivier Giroud penalty in the latter stages of the first half. and the board just went up, but 1 minute of added on time will be played here in the Polish Army Stadium in Warsaw. Shakhtar 1, Celtic 1. Really intriguing opening 45, both sides having their moments, that's for sure, but Shakhtar certainly have grown into the game, found the equaliser, and might have had a second but for the assistant's flag. Here they come, trying to find a late goal in the first period, but Carter Vickers was there. Hatate looks to feed it forward for Kyogo. Kyogo down the left channel, turning away from Bondar, still midway inside the Shakhtar half, plays it square for Hatate. Celtic getting bodies forward, cut out by Sudakov, only partly though. McGregor picks up, and now it's Juranovic, 25 yards out. Now it's O'Reilly in the penalty, he tries to feed it across goal, a mix up between the keeper and Bondar, but the central defender does manage to get it clear. McGregor picks up, and there goes the half-time whistle. And really entertaining, exciting start to the match by Celtic, and they were rewarded by an 11th minute goal from Rio Hatate, played in by Haksabanovic, and he slotted it past the goalkeeper who had earlier denied Kyogo a second-minute opener. But Celtic, good value for their lead at that stage, and Moritz Jens was denied just before the half-hour mark by Trubin again, as Celtic looked to add to their advantage. But just around that point, Shakhtar had begun to come into the game a lot more. They were enjoying more possession, and on the break, on the half-hour mark, they found the equaliser, and it was the exciting young winger Mikhailo Mudryk who burst forward down the left-hand side and tucked the ball past Joe Hart. An excellent finish from the left-hand side of the penalty area to make it 1-1. Marian Shved, the former Celtic player, thought he'd given Shakhtar the lead 8 minutes later, as he, at the second attempt, sent the ball past Joe Hart, but the assistant flagged late, and it was cut out, much to Celtic's relief. So it's all set up for an intriguing second half here in Warsaw. At half-time, it's Shakhtar Donetsk 1, Celtic 1.
Celtic in the Champions League.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
So, one apiece at half-time in Warsaw. Shakhtar Donetsk equalising. It was down as a Bondarenko own goal in 10 minutes. Hatate with a chance there. Donetsk, a really good finish from Mudryk on 29. So, honours even, Tom English. A fair reflection of that first half?
Probably, although Celtic would be a little bit annoyed with themselves that they didn't go 2 up. Yeah, they had a great start again, like the Real Madrid game. Great start. This time they get the goal. After 11 minutes, Kyogo had a chance in the first couple of minutes, saved by the keeper. Hatate or Bondarenko, whatever way you want to cut it. They get the goal, they're 1 up, and they're playing well. And Moritz Jens then, after close to the half hour, he's got a chance saved by the goalkeeper. But then they're really getting a lot of joy, Shakhtar, down Juranovic's side. Mm-hmm. That's where the goal came from. That's where another couple of chances came from. Celtic are going to really have to tidy up there, because Shakhtar, you can see them growing into this game, and they look very dangerous now.
Yeah, they do, Pat Bonner. I mean, in many ways, it's been a half of 2 halves. I think a really positive start from Celtic, as Tom said, could have had a couple, but then I'm just wondering your thoughts on that equaliser, Pat, from Joe Hart's perspective.
Well, we're looking at it from right behind it, but we don't have the angle to see how high it went beyond Joe. He's obviously gone a little bit to ground. He's hoping that he's going to spread himself and is going to head off him, but once you get a bit of height in the ball and the shot, then it takes it up over the goalkeeper's almost 5-point save, as we call it, and that's the area where you've got to hit in a 1v1 situation in a modern game. So I would like to look at it again to answer your question properly from that perspective. But what was interesting for me, Celtic had real dominance in that early part of the game, and there was a lot happening for them. Passing was good, movement was good, and then suddenly the movement stopped when they had the ball. It was kind of almost like, I'll pass it to you, I'll pass it across the back, I'll come back between Jens, and they just couldn't get that pass away in those forward positions, and then the tempo went out of the game, and that suited Shakhtar down to a T, and that's how they grew in confidence. And then, of course, with that goal, Mudryk looks a player, I'll be honest, he's got a bit of tempo, a bit of pace about him.
Yeah, he looks a special player. It was a great goal, Aidan. Just asking Pat there about his thoughts on the position of Joe Hart. Pat, you'd need to see it again. What was your reaction when you saw that?
I'm always very critical of goalkeepers, to be honest. We always feel that goalkeepers could always do better.
Don't let yourself down.
No, I just felt that. Listen, it was a very, very good finish from Mudryk, but I just felt Joe Hart went down a little bit early, because I think if he just stays up 1 second longer, I think he saves that and takes that in the face. Because if you look at it, it's right down the middle of the goals. Don't want to be overly critical of Joe Hart, because you see goals like that going in all the time, but it's one of those ones where I think he could have done slightly better.
I think if he stands up, he's got a chance, and it's going to hit off some part of his body. He kind of ducks a little bit, goes over his right shoulder, but it's some serious pace on the ball from pretty close range. Like, it's a great strike.
I'm not saying Joe Hart should have saved it, not at all. But I don't want to be overly critical of Joe Hart. I just think he could have possibly saved it. Yeah, like you said.
You're critical of goalkeepers, but would you be critical of a goalkeeper you scored against, or would those goals you scored were always unstoppable?
Well, no, played against me, Tom.
No, goalies you play, well, if you've scored a goal against it, well, no, actually would as well. Like there's goals I've scored where I've said, what was the goalkeeper doing there? And I'm a massive advocate of, if I was a manager, which potentially I might be one day, I don't know, especially when a goalkeeper gets beaten on a free kick when the ball was played to their side. So the wall's here and they're standing the other side of the wall, and they take that step. If a goalie is ever beaten on his side that he's standing in a free kick, we're having a war in the dressing room at half time.
Right, as a manager then, your thoughts on that first half performance from Celtic?
I think Celtic played well, especially they started the game very, very well. I mean, Haksabanovic looked a real threat. He looked a real threat. Whether it was Hatate's goal or not, they have given it to Hatate on TV, haven't they?
It looks like an own goal.
I mean, I think Celtic started very well. I was actually surprised that Haksabanovic kind of was on the left as opposed to Jota, but and Jota, because I think Jota's very effective. He's been very effective this season on the left. I think Celtic started very well, but without being clinical enough again, which is probably the same thing that happened against Real Madrid. There was a couple of balls flashed across the face of the box. I think Greg Taylor flashed one across. I think Celtic played well, but they did let Shakhtar back into the game, and Shakhtar have some serious weapons going forward, as you've seen. Like Mudryk on the left especially, he looks like a real player. He looks a real player. I mean, Juranovic is. I'm a massive fan of Juranovic. I don't think I've really seen anyone really get the better of him. Even Vinicius Junior last week, I didn't think Vinicius really done that much against him 1v1. This lad here looks a player. So it's just one of those games. I think Celtic just have to be a bit more intelligent, like we said, like kind of spoke about before the game. A little bit more game management, but a better game management, because you're 1-0 up away from home against Shakhtar. Can you get to half time 1-0 and not 1-1? And it's the perfect response from Shakhtar.
Yeah, I mean, what criticisms, Pat, would you have of Celtic in that first half? As good as they are going forward, it was a poor goal to lose.
Yeah, it was a poor goal, and it's put them on the back foot a little bit. They just allowed, for me, they allowed Shakhtar back into it just by when they had the ball. They slowed the pace right down. Initially, early on in the game, when they had the ball, they were really going and trying to get at Shakhtar. And Shakhtar was really struggling to stay in the game, to be honest. And that intensity came off a little bit. And that was down to, I think, just also when you watch the game from the stadium, and I know it's different on TV, you can see the movement when somebody has the ball, say, especially with the two centre halves, where's the pass going to go? And everybody's standing and watching a little bit instead of moving and given the opportunity and the option for the player on the ball. The other thing, going back to the point Aidan had mentioned there, Haksabanovic is playing over on the left. The threat for Shakhtar is down. Juranovic just said, and Jota is not going to be the one that's going to help him out. There's no question about that.
That's a good
He's
point.
very good when he gets the ball, and Haksabanovic looks like more he's a more probably physical type player than Jota. Maybe I'm wrong in that assessment. We've only seen him short, but I think he might have been better switching over here and helping out for a little bit during that period when they had a little bit more possession and helping, because there was times when the fullback also Con Naplaya was getting forward down this left-hand side and helping Mudryk to almost make it a 2v1 situation. They got in a few times.
They just need to get back on the front foot, don't they? I mean, they've gone into retreat, and okay, understandable. Shakhtar really putting it together, but Celtics, their intensity and their accuracy, the tempo in the first 20 minutes was excellent, and Shakhtar were in trouble. And you know, I'd say after that spell when they were only 1-0 down, they were probably a bit relieved, because it could have been, they could have gone 2-0 down. But it's 1-1 now. I think it's a terrific game.
But would
It's
anything have changed? Aidan's talking about game management there. If Celtic had gone 2-0 up, it strikes me that nothing changes in their style of play. They're not thinking about getting to half time with the advantage.
Oh, I think that is Postecoglou's philosophy, isn't it? That's the way that he sees the game. Kenny's been quite vocal, hasn't he, and quite adamant in that he doesn't really change style for anyone. And like we spoke before the show, sometimes you do have to be adaptable, especially at this level. Just look how high the Celtic backline were for that goal, especially. Celtic were attacking, lose the ball in one pass, and it's a goal. It's literally one pass, two passes maybe, one, and you're straight through. And the left winger Mudryk is straight through and goal. I think it's game management, but I mean, I hope Celtic come out the second half and play the way they did the first 10, 15, 20 minutes of the first half.
But what did they do, considering Ivanovic is in trouble with Mudryk coming down that side, and Jota is not going to be playing a big defensive shift? What do they do to shut down that space to keep Mudryk quiet? I think,
look, this is maybe sounding really, really harsh, but you would probably say Abada's more workmanlike, wouldn't you, than Jota or Haksabanovic. I think
he track back though, Aidan, that's the problem.
No, so then it's a change of shape then, isn't it? It's not, if there's no personnel on the bench that are going to come on like for like, it's a change of shape. So do you go three at the back? Do you then to give yourself that overload at the back? Just a bit more solid
just
defensively.
Picking up on that point, Aidan. Yeah, the other picking up on that point, if you look at the way they're set up defensively in midfield, they only have one sitting player. So McGregor is the one that has to slide across, but it's so difficult for him to slide out of his position in the centre. If there's two sitting players, then maybe one can actually come across and help Juranovic, and you still have the balance of McGregor or the other player on his side. And Tati and O'Reilly is so far up the pitch at times, they're never going to get back there to help them, help Juranovic on that side. So that's 2-3 players out of the game right away.
That's the way Postecoglou plays though, doesn't he? McGregor's played there
of course, that's what he does.
That's the way he plays.
Full second half commentaries to come in Group F. Shakhtar Donetsk 1, Celtic 1 in Group E this evening. A half-time score, AC Milan 1, Dinamo Zagreb 0. Olivier Giroud with a penalty there on 45 minutes. Now a double helping of Champions League football on Sports Sound for you this evening. Ibrox at 8 o'clock. It's Rangers against Napoli. Let's join our match commentator Liam McLeod. Good evening to you, Liam. You've got the team news for the game there at Ibrox.
Yeah, thanks Kenny. Manchester United were the last Champions League group stage visitors to Ibrox. They won late on with a Wayne Rooney penalty 12 years ago. Rangers back, of course, with that horrible result in Amsterdam last week, losing 4-0 to Ajax, their heaviest defeat since they lost to Juventus in the mid-90s as far as European competition's concerned. 4 changes from that match in the Johan Cruyff Arena last week. Kamara, Tillman, Wright and Cholak come out. Stevens actually say, of course, 5, because they've changed the goalkeeper. We knew about that one yesterday. Alan McGregor coming in for his first start of the season. First start since the Europa League final for John McLaughlin. The other players, as I say, Kamara, Lundstrom, Tillman and Wright dropping out. In come Davis, Jack, Arfield, and the club's record European goal scorer Alfredo Morelos for his first start since March. He replaces Cholak up front. McGregor in goal, Tavernier, Goldson, Sands and Barisic, Davis, Lundstrom and Jack with Arfield and Kent supporting Morelos up front. As far as Napoli are concerned, and they were mesmeric at times against Liverpool last week in Campania, magnificent performance. They won 4-1. They could have scored more on the night. One change, it's enforced the star striker Osimhen, who ran Van Dijk and co ragged last week. He misses out through injury. He's got a thigh problem. His place goes to Simeone, Giovanni Simeone, who is the son of Diego Simeone, the Atletico Madrid coach. So Meret in goal, Di Lorenzo, Ramani, Kim and Oliveira at the back. Mario Rui rather at the back, and Gisa and Lobotka, the Slovakia international, will anchor things in the middle with Politano, Zielinski, got 2 against Liverpool, and they've got the young star Georgian Kvaratskhelia on the left hand side. Fabulous player. He's going to test Tavernier tonight with the main striker, as I say, Simeone. The referee was in charge of Dundee United's heavy defeat in Alkmaar in Conference League qualifying. Spanish, very experienced Antonio Lahoz.
Thank you to Liam McLeod. We'll join Richard Gordon, Liam, Stephen Thompson and Neil McCann. It's an 8 o'clock kick-off. We'll join them around about 7:45 at Ibrox. Our first game this evening is finely balanced, 1-1 between Shakhtar Donetsk and Celtic. Let's get to second half commentary then in the Champions League with Pat Bonner and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks again, Kenny. Just about to get back underway. Just a half-time substitution to tell you about, though. Ange Postecoglou has made one change, and it's Dyson Maida coming on for Sead Haksabanovic. Is that a surprise to you at this stage, Paki?
Yeah, well, unless he's picked up a little knock or he feels that he needs to get back to his more regular type of team. Haksabanovic it's his first game really in such a big occasion that he might feel that he's struggling a wee bit and he wants to just get back to more familiarity with the team. And Maeda, we know that he's got a pace. We know that he'll play that position very, very well.
Yeah, he plays on the right at the start of this second half at least, which is underway. Celtic kicking us off. 1-1 it stands at half-time. So not only is it a surprise that Haksabanovic is taken off, surprised that Maida comes on rather than Abada.
Yeah, maybe so, but I think we talked at half-time about Juranovic getting a little bit of a tough time.
Here's an early chance for Celtic. Jota inside the penalty, curls one goes. Keeper makes a real hash of that and somehow it's cleared away. What's the keeper playing it there? Anyway, Celtic come again on the right-hand side. It wasn't a really troubling effort from Jota, or at least it didn't appear to be, but he just tried to shovel it away and he almost presented it straight to another Celtic player, but that was a real let-off for Shakhtar. You can analyse the keeper's part in that, Paki.
I don't think he had the confidence to hold it. You know, we've seen Joe Hart early on in the first half making a really good interception, a similar type of ball, but this time this young goalkeeper elected, he tried to scoop it away, and he had nowhere to put it actually, and just left it hanging there. But it was great defending, I've got to say, from Matvienko, who got in and helped him out and cleared the ball.
Here's Jota on the left again, just manages to slip that through, but Greg Taylor won't quite catch it. I have to say, I think it was Aidan who was saying it at half time, I think Jota does most of his good work, or his best work, on this left-hand side, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've seen him most of the time he spends over on his left hand. He's got the ability to go on the inside too, and that just opens up and creates problems for defenders when you go on the inside. It opens up more passes and more ability even to have a shot on goal.
Yep, that's what he did just a moment ago, and it almost led to a second Celtic goal. But here comes Shakhtar at the other end, and it's Bondarenko. He can't get it through. McGregor was in the way, and Carter Vickers picks up, and then Juranovic clips it forward for Hatate. I did think when looking back at the Hatate goal, it wasn't quite clear to me that it was cleanly his goal, and it sounds like we haven't had the benefit of a replay back in the stadium, but it does sound like there was a big deflection.
Doesn't matter how.
No, it certainly
what
does
happens
not.
As long as it gets in the back of the net.
But Hatate has been credited certainly in the stadium by UEFA with the goal, but they have been pegged back by Mudryk. They've started the second half pretty brightly as well. Celtic, I'm sure the message from Ange Postecoglou would have been something to the effect of, let's start the second period as we did the first, get back to those kind of levels, as McGregor picks up and finds Maida, who's just come in off the right. Hatate then out to the right hand side. Chance now for Juranovic to get the ball into the middle. It's a good ball, but it's knocked away only as far as Taylor. Now it's Jota. Jota gets a shot away, well blocked, more or less on the edge of the 6-yard box. One of the Shakhtar players putting their bodies on the line there, and it's picked up and they go in the counter-attack. And it's good play from Sved to move away from Taylor. Taylor trying to get back at him. Sved tries to thread it into the penalty area. It's knocked away. Jens just manages to keep it in, but then knocks it out for a throw-in.
Yeah, it was that same player, Matvienko, put his body on the line there. Really had a great block because there was power in that shot from Jota. Jota's been evident early on in this game now. A couple of opportunities that he's had, and unlucky in that occasion. Yeah,
on both occasions, cutting in from the left-hand side onto the right boot, as we've seen him do to great effect in the season and a bit he's had at Celtic. Forward comes Konoply on the left-hand side for Shakhtar. 49 minutes gone almost in Warsaw. And Shakhtar, at this stage, will move on to 4 points in the group. And Celtic will get their first, but lots of football to be played as Sved picks up, goes for goal from a long way out. It's blocked by Jens well outside the penalty area, and Juranovic picks up and just knocks it back to Joe Hart. Hart out to the left-hand side. Taylor has to scurry to try and keep that in. He just about manages to do so, and then steps away from Sved very neatly. Good play from the Celtic left-back as he comes down the left-hand side, and he's dragged back by Sved, and it will be a Celtic free kick. And a good play by Greg Taylor there under a bit of pressure. Good play for him, but he didn't have a lot of options, I've got to say, from his midfielders when he had to work his way up the line there. He's looking for somebody to come and give him a little bit of an option, and everybody's sort of standing watching him. But yeah, I think the other thing with Maeda coming on is that he will help out Juranovic, as we spoke about in the second half. He will track back a little bit more. Yeah, he's very industrious, isn't he? Blazen Maeda, as Shakhtar pick up possession, and it's Surikov with a good bit of footwork to retain possession, and then plays it back to the left back, Konoply up, and then Matvienko, who, as Paki says, has twice early in this second half dug Shakhtar out of a hole with some really good defending to prevent Celtic getting a second goal and going back in front. Kyogo chasing down Matvienko right now, but he knocks it back to his young goalkeeper, takes a touch and then plays it out to the right hand side for Lucas Taylor. Moves away from Jota. Good strength from the Brazilian fullback. Away from Hatate. It's a poor pass from Taylor. Eventually does get the pass though to Bondarenko, who moves over the halfway line. Left-footed player strokes out to Konoply on the left-hand side. Further out to the left to the goal scorer Mudryk. Shot ball in, gets a 1-2. It's a good play. It's Bondarenko on the edge of the penalty. It comes off him last though. Just a ricochet in a challenge with Hatate, and it's behind for a goal kick. They've played just over 50 minutes. It's Shakhtar 1, Celtic 1. Yeah, it was a good play again for Mudryk. As soon as he picked the ball up, that little bit of sharpness that he has in his play, looking to give and go, and nearly getting himself in again. But yeah, he is a threat around the box, so Celtic can't afford to allow him good possession in that final third. I was saying that UEFA had given the Celtic goal to Hatate. I see they've just changed the big board to a Bondarenko own goal, but well, as you say, Paki, those things are minor details. It's all about putting the ball in the back of the net, which they did early on. Jens is caught wrong side, and it looks like it's going to be the first yellow card for the Celtic defender. It was good play by Alexander Zubkov. He just spun his marker, and Jens was forced to haul him back, and the first yellow card of the game goes the way of the German defender for Celtic. Yeah, a professional foul really, because he got caught. He went to try to intercept the ball, and Zubko turned him on the halfway line, and he was gone, so he just hauled him down to give away that free kick and pick up a yellow card, which doesn't do him any favours when you're in that position, because everything has got to be spot on from now. Good bit of skill there from Bondarenko, but can't get the pass away to Lucas Taylor. It's cut out by Jota. It'll be a throw-in to Shakhtar. Played 7 minutes of the second period, still all square as it was at half-time, as the goalkeeper Trubin gets it out to Matvienko, trying to play around the Celtic press. Konoply just manages to keep the ball from going out for a throw-in, and then it's back to Matvienko and Bondarenko in a bit of space now. Yeah. Comes forward up to the centre circle. Too easy for your liking, Paki? Yeah, I just got looking at it. Hatate should have been right up on Bondarenko at that point, and he was way off him and allowed him to pick up an easy pass and get out easily. Got a slack pass from Bondarenko's presented Celtic with possession. It's Hatate and McGregor exchanging passes. Every Shakhtar player behind the ball inside their own half as Jens gets out to the left-hand side for Taylor. forced back the way from by Sved. You've been impressed by him, given his. You would have to put his Celtic stint down as a failure. He really didn't make an impression.
Never got a chance, I don't think, to be honest. I think we were quite excited when we heard that they signed him. At that time, they needed wingers also, I think. They needed somebody to come in and liven things up. Whether he would get into the team here now with the amount of almost wingers that Celtic have, I doubt it very much. But he's a decent player and he showed flashes of it so far.
He's tracking back now as Jota picks up on the left-hand side. Early ball in, left-footed. It's met well by O'Reilly, but he just couldn't shape the shot on target. It's not too far away, but O'Reilly with a right-footed effort just off target, and it remains with 53.5 minutes on the clock. Shakhtar 1, Celtic 1. There's only 3 appearances Sved made. He made his debut in a Champions League qualifier against Nome Kalju, and he came on and scored, but it was one of only 3 fleeting appearances at the club before he was shipped out on loan. But looking to make a name for himself back in his homeland of Ukraine, or tonight in Warsaw as it is. As forward comes Juranovic onto the edge of the penalty area. Hugo goes down off the ball inside the penalty area. O'Reilly back out to Juranovic. McGregor forced back the way to Carter Vickers. Plays it square for Jens. Closed down by Zubkov. Jens though comes forward on the left hand side. His pass is cut out by Sved. He won't keep that one in though. And Postecoglou right out at the edge of his technical area.
Yeah, this is what this ploy the Celtic have of taking quick throw-ins and getting on with the game very quickly. That's not afforded to them tonight because they're not at home and so on, and that just takes away a little bit from the intensity.
It's Greg Taylor back to Jens, the Croatian coach of Shakhtar Donetsk. Ivan Jovicevic trying to urge his side up the park. They are sitting rather deep as Celtic look to try and find a second goal in the game. There's Taylor and now Jens. Carter Vickers. Not sure quite what the crowd have seen to excite them so much, but here's Maida coming forward looking to excite the Celtic fans. It's cleared away though by Stepanenko, and Shakhtar will pick up through Sudakov just outside his penalty area out to Mudryk. A neat pass infield. He has been impressive, the young man who's got the equaliser. Stepanenko, and then Sudakov picks up once more. Zubkov looking to link with Sved, but Taylor was alive to the danger, and now he finds Jota. Jota moving forward at pace, running at that back line. He's done really well up to the edge of the penalty. There's still Jota going. This will be some goal if he can finish this, and it's a good bit of defending, and it's not behind for a corner. What a solo goal that would have been from Jota, but his right-footed strike eventually deflected behind by Joakim Konoplia. But what a run from the Portuguese.
Yeah, super run, control, kept going and going. In fact, he probably went too far. He couldn't get a shot away, that final shot. He just tried to get a bit of space, and he was forced a little bit wide, and when he took it on, I think the goalkeeper might have saved it from that angle, but it was a great run.
Fabulous player. O'Reilly with the corner, left-footed from the right-hand side. His claims in there for a handball. The referee wasn't interested as Shakhtar managed to scramble it clear, but O'Reilly has picked up once more on the right-hand side. Gets it back to McGregor. McGregor about 40 yards from goal, just plays it short to Juranovic on the right-hand side. Juranovic slides it forward again for...
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. That movement just isn't quite there. When people have the ball in great positions, you had McGregor on the ball, you had O'Reilly on the ball, you had Juranovic, and they're just looking for that little dart movement up front, and it just isn't coming tonight when they want it, and then they have to change the angle again and keep the ball and move it around.
Hatate did try to play the through ball, but he overcooked it, and it went behind for a goal kick, which Anatoly Trubin is about to take. But we've got 57 minutes played as Celtic are level with Shakhtar. Rangers Napoli to come. Liam gave us a team news a few moments ago as Rangers look to try and recover from consecutive 4-0 defeats against Serie A's leaders. That will be a real tough contest this evening. Stay with us for that and the remainder of the second half here as Lucas Taylor bursts forward for Shakhtar. It's a good run from him, stopped by Jens, and then out comes Joe Hart to dive in the ball. Again, we haven't seen replays of the equaliser either, Packy, but it sounds from what the guys are kind of alluding to that Joe Hart might have done a little bit better.
Yeah, but it was a great run and a great finish. I put it down to that. Of course, you got to look at the detail around it. Sometimes you spread yourself, you get away with it, and you can almost say to yourself, "I'm just going to put up that big block, and if it hits me, it's a bit of luck more than anything else." And that they didn't have the luck. And if you're going to beat a goalkeeper in that 1v1, for me, you play the ball high up into the air, and that's what he did there.
But Joe Hart, like most of Ange Postecoglou's signings, has been a really positive acquisition, a position that had been a troublesome one for Celtic for a season or so anyway. Joe Hart has come in and really impressed between the sticks for Celtic.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that now. You've got Maeda, you've got O'Reilly, you've got Hatate, you've got Kyogo, and you've got Jota all standing in the positions waiting, and they're just knocking that ball across the back. Just a little bit more when they have an opportunity to get their head up to hit that forward pass, just the movement, and you've just given it away. Yeah,
Juranovic's attempted pass is cut out, but O'Reilly wins it back only momentarily. And then Celtic do have it once more, and it's Jens out to the left-hand side for Jota. It was just too hit too hard by Jens, and Jota couldn't bring it under control, and it's out for a throw-in on this near side. Very little to choose between the sides right now. It would be a brave man to pick a winner, if there is indeed to be a winner, as Lucas Taylor takes the throw-in. Back the way it goes to Bondar, back to his goalkeeper, almost on his line, gets the pass away, but Maeda's done well to cut that out. Back comes Surikov for Shakhtar to win it back, but possession exchanging hands very quickly here, just at the moment, as Shakhtar are about to make a double change now. And
Traore's one of them who scored in that game last week.
Yeah, Traore will come on. And, double change, as I say, is unfortunately we don't have the team sheets here, so it's a bit of a lottery trying to establish exactly who's coming on and off. But Petriak is the other player to make way. Zubkov is the one replaced by Traore. And first changes then for Shakhtar as Trubin takes the ball again inside his 6-yard box. Up immediately to Traore, the Burkina Faso player who was also on the score sheet, albeit rather inadvertently scoring the winner at the weekend. It was a deflection off him.
Yes, fresh
very
legs.
little about.
Yes, fresh legs up front though. He changes almost the two strikers, so that'll tell you his intent. He thinks that he can go and win this game, the manager. Maybe freshness, sharpness. The rest of them have got to do their job and work and keep Celtic out. But Celtic, on the other hand, have got the quality.
Here comes Celtic into the penalty area. It goes from Juranovic, but it's cleared away and picked up by Mudryk, who holds off Juranovic and comes forward with intent down the left-hand side, crossing the halfway line now, cutting in field as Shakhtar look to get players forward in support. Now in a central area, Mudryk plays it out to the right-hand side, and a first touch for Petriak, who's come on for Shved. Back the way it goes to Surikov. And Shakhtar looking to just slow things down just for the moment as Bondar picks up, and then he'll go all the way back to his goalkeeper under pressure from Kyogo. It's Trubin takes the touch and then clips it forward for Bondarenko. Out to the left-hand side for Konoplia, and then back with the captain Stepanenko. Shakhtar play out to the right-hand side, and it's Lucas Taylor back in field for Stepanenko. And back once more, just keeping possession for the moment. Surikov all the way back to Trubin once more outside his penalty area. 62 minutes on the clock, still Shakhtar 1, Celtic 1. Celtic very much in this tie, and there's no reason that they can't still go on and win this one. They've definitely had opportunities. Jota at the start of the second half has done well.
It's falling into kind of a similar pattern where Celtic were dominant at the early start of this game, making chances, plenty of control of the game, and now it looks like Shakhtar has taken over that control, knocking it about, passing, getting very comfortable on the ball.
Lucas Taylor just manages to keep that one in play, and picked up by Bondarenko. The possession in the first half was 50-50 exactly. In a strange first period that was dominated initially by Celtic and then by Shakhtar. It's been pretty eeksy-peeksy in this second half. Here's Hatate picking up just inside the Shakhtar half, coming forward. Jota just gets the ball back to Jens before the sliding challenge comes in on him. Taylor now back to Jens, square for Carter Vickers. Celtic looking to perhaps just try and lift the tempo somewhat to reassert their authority in the game. Here's Taylor on the halfway line, knocks it forward. It's a good ball for Hatate, poor first touch from him, but McGregor picks up. That's good play. Now it's O'Reilly, 25 yards from goal, gets the shot away, pushed away by the goalkeeper down to his left hand side, and it'll be kept in by Konoply. A better stuff from Celtic there, and it's O'Reilly that's denied. They pick up once more, and it's McGregor infield for Hatate. Back now with Juranovic, midway inside the Shakhtar half. Juranovic forced out wide by O'Reilly's pass. Infield it comes to McGregor. Back through for O'Reilly. Picks up again from Maida. O'Reilly in the right foot, and that's off target this time. Behind for a goal kick. 64 minutes played. Shakhtar 1, Celtic 1.
Yeah, Matt O'Reilly found himself in a really good pocket of space in between the lines, and he had an opportunity to just get good control on the ball and get his strike away, with a young goalkeeper making a decent save down to his left hand side. But that'll encourage Celtic if they can get that penetrating passes into those players that has got the ability. That's what they've got to look at. Here's a chance. Oops.
Yeah, Mudryk trying to get away from Juranovic, but it came off Mudryk last, and it's out for a throw in on the far side to Celtic. 2-1 to Milan in the other game. That's early kick-off in the Champions League against Dinamo Zagreb, and 1-1 here in Warsaw with about 26 minutes to play. Jota foiled there by Lucas Taylor, who comes forward and crosses the halfway line. His attempted pass infield's cut out by the head of the Celtic captain, Callum McGregor.
Yeah, you can see every time Jota gets the ball, though, there's two on him. I'm trying to look at a player that comes across, certainly steps across. Bondarenko, it is the other midfielder, steps across to help Lucas Taylor when he picks the ball and almost doubles up on him.
Here's Stepanenko inside the centre circle, left footed, gets it out to Lucas Taylor on the right hand side, midway inside the Celtic half now, feeds it forward. He was looking to link with Petriak, but he put too much in the pass, and it's tamely behind for a Celtic goal kick, which is quickly taken by Joe Hart to McGregor. And now it's Hatate, left hand side for Jota, up against Taylor, and he's made a good challenge, played it off Jota, who's looking a bit frustrated right now. Taylor is having a good game against him at the moment, certainly.
Yeah, what he's doing is every time he gets the ball now, he's just going really tight on him, because he knows that Bondarenko is covering him on the inside, and if he forces him on the inside, then he goes into Bondarenko, and they're just out-muscling him a little bit. So, but he has to get his movement to create space for himself to allow him to get on a 1v1, because he has the quality to go and beat Lucas Taylor when he gets the ball. But if he's facing his own goal and he's under pressure, then that's a different matter.
Giacomakis preparing to come on with a quarter of the game to go. Jota picks up though on the left hand side, forward for Taylor. Taylor quickly closed down by Lucas Taylor. Back the ball goes to Jens on the halfway line, back out to Greg Taylor, back with Jens once more just inside the Shakhtar half.
Yeah, Shakhtar's well organised, they're sliding across. So they've just got to move the ball a little bit quicker.
Jens gets it out to Taylor on the left hand side.
That's
good
better.
ball for Hatate in a bit of space. Comes forward, Stepanenko comes out to meet him. Here's Kyogo on the edge of the penalty, tries to sneak it through there for O'Reilly, but it was again well defended by Shakhtar. But that was better. In fact, it's going to be a triple change for Celtic. It's Giacomakis, Turnbull and Moy who are going to come on, and O'Reilly is the first player who will make way.
Yeah, he's had a quite enough game, Matt O'Reilly. He's got that shot away, as we've seen the goalkeeper making a good save from him. But I think he'll be looking to trying to get a quick finish to this game now, a higher tempo to it. But he's taken off Hatate, Kyogo and O'Reilly, which is a lot of quality going out of the team. So let's see if Giacomakis can make an impression in around the edge of the box.
But quality coming on as well, Packy. That's the beauty of the Celtic squad that Ange Postecoglou has put together.
Yeah, it is. Fresh legs too, you've got to say. That's and try to just increase the tempo a little bit. But it looks like, McGregor normally pushes forward into O'Reilly's position, but I think he might be sitting alongside Aaron Moy in the middle of the pitch to create almost a different type of shape. A two and Turnbull pushing a little bit further forward. A little bit more cautious maybe in trying to get away with. Do we take this point out of this tie and then hope to win the other games? That's maybe gone through the manager's mind also.
Here is first touch for Moy. Back with Carter Vickers. Still 1-1 in Warsaw. 68.5 minutes played. Second half has been a little less eventful, albeit Celtic had a couple of early opportunities through Jota.
Yeah, there was a chance there for Carter Vickers to slide the ball through to McGregor when he was unmarked. Now he's put it through when he is marked, but he took the option to go back to Joe Hart, and that little bit of risk that this Celtic team don't show in certain games. But the Champions League is a big game for them. They know they need to get a result in this one, otherwise they might be out of this group stage before it has actually even begun.
Jota for McGregor, great. A little bit of control from McGregor. Pass wasn't up to the same standards, unfortunately. Down the left hand side he went looking for Jota. Lucas Taylor under pressure now from the Portuguese though. Across comes Giakoumakis to help him out. Giakoumakis picks up possession. Now it's Turnbull, left hand side of the penalty area. Spins away from his marker, tries the back heel. It wasn't really on, but he manages second time to get it back to Jota. Jota left hand side, infield for Moy, about 25 yards from goal. Good ball in, well defended this time by Bondar. And gets it to the edge of the penalty area, but Celtic still pressing, and it's Moy out to Jota, left hand side, plays it square. Turnbull, can he get the shot away? Shapes it, and it's just over the crossbar from Turnbull. That was a good opportunity. He had time and space before the Shakhtar defenders pressed him, but he couldn't hit the target, and it remains Shakhtar 1, Celtic 1.
Oh, he's in a great position. He was about 25 yards from goal, right in the middle. I think he could have done a little bit better there. He's almost leaning back when he hit it. I think he should take that ball even further onto his right foot and bend it around the goalkeeper, but just leant back a little bit and got under it.
Just hurried it slightly. We know certainly from seeing David Turnbull over the years that he can certainly hit them from that kind of distance and really test the goalkeeper, but not on that occasion.
Yeah, Celtic need a goal like that actually. They need something just to spark them a little bit.
Here's Petriak on the halfway line, gets out to the left hand side for Mudryk, who has been a little bit quieter in this second period. He slips out to Konoplia further left, back in field for Stepanenko midway inside the Celtic half, turns one way then the other, out to the right hand side he comes to Taylor. Certainly Joe Hart hasn't really been troubled in this second half, but we don't want to tempt fate with 19 minutes left. That's a good ball forward looking for Konoplia. A couple of Celtic defenders getting in each other's way, Juranovic and Carter Vickers. Konoplia tries to find Mudryk, and eventually it's good backtracking there by Maida, wasn't it, inside his own penalty area. He's fouled, and it'll be a Celtic free kick, which Joe Hart has taken already, to Jens, and now Taylor. Remember, Rangers against Napoli follows this one. 8 o'clock kickoff in the UK as Carter Vickers steps forward. 1-1 here between Shakhtar and Celtic. Celtic had the lead through Hatate, or was it a Bondarenko own goal? But they were pegged back by Mudryk after half an hour, and that's how things stand.
Yeah, great opportunity there for Juranovic. Just a bad first touch. It was almost shaping into a 2v1 with Maeda running forward.
Trubin gets it to Bondar inside his own penalty area, plays a ball Jota's managed to intercept. As Jota inside the penalty area, weaves onto the right foot once more. Can he get a shot away this time? Oh, he's not managed to get a proper shot on target, and it's somehow deflected behind. But once again, Jota seemingly doing all the hard work, and the shot in the end was just too weak to threaten.
Oh, he did everything almost right apart from the finish. Brilliant play. Picks it up. He closed down Bondar initially and won the ball, and then stepped inside a few defenders. And Bondar, to be fair to him, got back into a position to put the final tackle in when you're just waiting for the goal to bulge.
It will be a corner kick to Celtic out on that far side. Jota, sometimes he's just unstoppable, but Unfortunately, the end product wasn't quite there on this occasion as the corner from Turnbull comes in. It's headed well away. Matvienko getting his head to that one as Moy picks up on the halfway line and plays it to Juranovic. But Celtic, they've certainly had opportunities, most of them being created by Jota in this second half.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt in that final third that when he comes alive, he's just stretching his calf a little bit now after that fantastic run. That's where he has got the quality.
Certainly does. The pass this time for Greg Taylor wasn't quite up to scratch, and Shakhtar are able to clear. Traore can't no link with any of his teammates. Bondarenko couldn't keep it in. He's going to get another Shakhtar change. It's Jurasek who will come on for Bondarenko, who got the last touch certainly on the Celtic goal. Hatate's effort deflected past his keeper by Bondarenko. And on will come the Croatian midfielder who's come in over the summer from Dinamo Zagreb.
Yeah, it's a straight swap in the middle of the pitch, just fresh legs. Almost maybe even a different mentality, might sit in there and defend a little bit, because Celtic have kind of picked up the domination of this game again from a point of view of controlling it. So maybe that's where the managers was getting worried that they might lose something, because Celtic have had chances.
With 4 points from their first two games, if that's what Shakhtar end up with, would be a very good return from a side that was depleted hugely. There's a number of players left after the outbreak of war, the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and understandably a lot of the Brazilians who played in their squads, some of their key players you would have to say left, like Tete, Marcos Antonio, Dodo, Marlos and Maicon.
Yeah, all the Brazilian quartet all left, didn't they? They've only got one left, and that was the quality. But sometimes when you watch them, if they went behind in games, they lost that sort of heart at times. I think this group is much more a team, much more fighting for a cause, you could say, and from that perspective, that's maybe suits this group.
There's a Shakhtar player down, and there's a break in play at the moment. Looks like possibly a bit of cramp as Jota comes across this near side and gets some fluids on as well, because he was feeling it after that most recent run. But Celtic with 15 minutes to play, still level at one each. They've had probably the better opportunities, you'd have to say, throughout the game, Packy, and will perhaps at this stage be disappointed that they're not back in front.
Yeah, very disappointed, I'm sure. When you come away from home, even though it's a neutral ground, and you can win the game, and when you make the chances, you just got to put them in the back of the net. Could be the story of this group for them, because they did make chances also against Real Madrid and didn't take them. That if you don't take your chances, you won't get points on the board. But the performance is there. Second half has been good when you consider that Joe Hart hasn't really had a save to make. So they've deserved, if they get a result out of this, they deserve it. If they get a one, it would be a great result for them, a great, magnificent result, and it would set them up for the games to come.
I mentioned earlier they'd only won 2 of 33 on the road. They've only drawn 3, lost 28.
Well, that's what they don't want to do, is
no, that's
away from here after dominating good spells and making chances and then lose the game, that's for sure.
Ocheretko is going to come on for the injured Sudakov. Ocheretko was the player who had the shot that deflected off Traore to win it in the 6th minute of injury time against Chernomorets in the league at the weekend. And on he comes, Oleg Ocheretko, a 19-year-old. It is a very young Shakhtar squad, as I say. A lot of them have come through the system here, and Oleg Ocheretko is another youth academy product at the club. Celtic themselves, as the guys were speaking about pre-match, have got a pretty young squad as well. The starting 11, I think only Joe Hart is over 30, but Shakhtar had 6 of their starting 11, 23 or under, and only 2 over 26. And here's Mudryk, one of the real stars, and it's a good turn and a free kick.
Yeah, he's
lucky. Celtic's way.
Lucky he didn't go in the book. Carter Vickers, he's come out and all the way out to try to intercept that ball, doesn't get it, and ends up giving away a free kick about 30 yards or so from goal, just on the left, just level with the corner of the 18-yard box. And that man Mudryk is over the ball, going to bend it in here on top of Joe Hart. They've got to defend this well.
Mudryk then, right-footed, clips it in, edge of the 6-yard box, and behind for a goal kick. No one could get a touch on that. Joe Hart just left it, and again wants to take the goal kick quickly, and the referee ordering him to take it again, which he eventually does. Gets it from Carter Vickers.
That was a really good ball in, really good telling ball. Joe Hart couldn't come for it, or at least he elected not to come for it, and it might have been Greg Taylor, was it, defending the back post, just got his body in against the opposition player and put him off.
Ball forward from Taylor has gone straight out of play. Giakoumakis hasn't been able to get into the game since he's come on. We've got just over 11 minutes of the 90 left. Shakhtar 1, Celtic 1. Celtic hoping to get their first point at least of the Champions League group stage. We've got a double header against Leipzig to come after this.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing easy in the Champions League, that's for sure. You know, you look at teams, you say, oh, I think Celtic could beat them or this, but Celtic have been in the game here also. Not easy.
No, it's several steps up from their domestic opposition, isn't it? As Jens picks up and plays it square to Carter Vickers. Back it goes to Jens, just on the edge of his own 6-yard box. No press from Shakhtar as they just drop into their shape, and out to the left hand side it comes to Taylor. Now Turnbull back to Jens, midway inside his own half. 1-1 with just over 10 minutes to play. Jens once more. Now Turnbull on the halfway line, just gets that pass through to Jota. Jota again dancing infield, poor pass from him, but it breaks kindly for McGregor, and now it's Taylor on the left hand side. Good crossing opportunity. It's a good ball looking for Giakoumakis. Giakoumakis nods it down. Maida with the effort, and it's deflected wide. The overhead acrobatic effort from Maida, and Shakhtar managed to scramble it behind, but it's another good move from Celtic. At least what you would call have a chance, Frankie. Maybe more.
Have a chance, and I think Giakoumakis did the right thing. He was never going to score from that position, just got to knock it across. Here's the corner.
Turnbull corner, left hand side. Comes to Jota, but he couldn't bring it under control. Came at him high and at a pace, and it's behind for a goal kick. And with the clock ticking beyond the 80-minute mark, it's still Shakhtar 1, Celtic 1.
Yeah, just going back to that chance, you know, I think he did the right thing. Giakoumakis just headed back across the 6-yard box, and Maeda was there just trying that overhead kick. Do we know sometimes can come off and sometimes doesn't, but he just got a defender in the way. But another chance for Celtic, and
yeah, all the chances in the second half have come for Celtic. They might not have been what you call clear cut, but they've certainly been presentable. Here goes Maida chasing a through ball. Out comes Trude into the edges penalty and clears really well, but what a terrific ball that was for Maida, and he showed great pace but couldn't quite get there. And forward now comes Shakhtar at the other end, looking to move in front with just about 8 minutes left to play. It's into Matvienko, out to the left hand side now, back to Matvienko and Konoply on the left hand side for Shakhtar. I think at this stage they would be quite content with the point.
Yeah, they would, but that was a chance for Maeda just going back to it. I thought he was going to take it in a stride, but he just couldn't. It was just probably the pace just took it away from him. Yeah, but this game can go either way, I'll tell you, in the last couple of minutes. Both teams would be happy probably with a point, but it can go either way.
Stemperenko out to the left hand side, and then back in to the captain, closed down by Maida, but he gets the pass away to Konoply. Shakhtar keeping possession at the back. Matvienko back to his goalkeeper once more. 8 minutes left, one apiece it stands. Out to the right hand side to Lucas Taylor on the halfway line. McGregor's with him, back he goes into the midfield to Stepanenko, just clips that back to Bondar, the centre back, who plays square for Matvienko. Celtic trying to come forward and close, but Turnbull is isolated as he tries to do that, and Stepanenko picks up, but it's a poor forward pass from him, and it will be a Celtic throw-in. There's a second ball on the pitch, so that will cause a few seconds delay, but the the Shakhtar coach down there, even Jovicevic, desperately urging his players to come out from the back and get forward and try and just ease the pressure on themselves somewhat. Celtic have certainly enjoyed the better of the second period. They don't have anything to show for it.
No, I think Shakhtar's quite happy with the point, and they'll sit back and hope that Celtic, like this, make a mistake.
Yeah, Jens has presented a real opportunity here for Shakhtar. Forward they come inside the penalty area. The shot comes in, it's well blocked. Jens makes the recovery from his own error as Ocheretko tried to profit from that real slip by Jens. Caught in possession, and fortunately for him, the German defender, he had enough pace to get back and atone for the mistake.
Yeah, I got away with it, Jens. That's the things you don't do late on in the game. Give the opposition a chance, and maybe if there was another player on, if it was over on the other side with Mudryk, then he would have been in real trouble.
We're live with Hearts in the Europa Conference League tomorrow evening out in Riga. And Rangers Napoli to come in just a few minutes away from full time here as Jota plays it for McGregor. Still one each in Warsaw between Shakhtar and Celtic. Moy now midway inside the Shakhtar half, back out to the left hand side for Jota, who must be tiring now after a few terrific runs. Here's McGregor on the left hand side. Infield it goes to Taylor. Taylor's got a chance here to pick out his teammate. Giakoumakis with his chance. He's blasted it wide. He should have done better, the Greek, but on the left foot he couldn't hit the target. Real opportunity. Not sure Celtic will get a better one in the closing minutes. It remains Shakhtar 1, Celtic 1.
Oh, he's got the score. He had all the time in the world to pick his spot, and he gets it on that left foot. I don't know how far wide it was, but there was nobody closing him out. Great play from Greg Taylor to pick him out, getting down into that left side and just picking him out. And when you're hoping it's going to go to your main player, your main striker inside the box to finish, but he didn't come up with the goods, and that's a real disappointment for him. You look back at that and say, wow, this is Champions League football, and you get a chance of that in the last couple of minutes, 5 minutes to go. You've got to stick in the back of the net, and he didn't do it.
Yeah, I said a few moments ago that none of the chances perhaps in the second half had been clear-cut. I think we can file that one under clear-cut opportunity, can't we?
Yeah, definitely.
But Giakoumakis fired wide. I think Abada's going to come on for the closing 5 minutes, or perhaps a little bit more than that given the injury time that will be played. And Abada, perhaps a slightly surprising omission from the starting lineup, will replace Jota, who has been excellent at times but just couldn't finish a couple of these solo runs with a goal. And on comes Israeli Abada, who'll go out to the right hand side. Maida will come out to the left for the closing stages of this one.
Well, let's see. He's got a very short time to make an impact, but he's got the ability, Abada, and can he get a chance? Can he finish it off? Can he put something away for Celtic to give them a victory here?
He's already got 6 goals for the season. Can he get a priceless 7th to give Celtic victory in Warsaw? Shakhtar looking to try and hold on. Juranovic swings it in to the back post. Maida will challenge. It will be a goal kick. You thought that came off the Shakhtar player last tracking?
Oh, absolutely. I'm nearly sure it came off. 2 of them going up against Maeda, and I thought it came off the side of the defender's head, but the referee gives the goal kick and takes the pressure off Shakhtar.
Shakhtar will have the goal kick taken by Trudon up towards Mudryk, looking to link with Traore, who hasn't really had a lot of involvement since he's come on. Hasn't been able to link to play, and hasn't seen a lot of service, that's for sure, as Trubin gets it out to the left hand side for Konoplia. Back it goes to Matvienko.
I've got to say, the goalkeeper's played that diagonal pass very well tonight to both full-backs, and they've always been in good positions to pick it up.
Konoplia plays the 1-2 with Mudryk now into the middle of the park. It's a poor bit of control, or attempted pass, whatever it was, from Ocheretko, and Celtic pick up possession again. They've got 2.5 to play. Abada down the right hand side, almost at the corner flag. Early ball in, it's over Maida, it's over everyone, and it will come out to this near side, and Shakhtar will pick up, and all of a sudden they'll try and counter-attack. The poor ball forward from Ochereko. Traore doesn't bother chasing it, and the Celtic fans away to our right are the ones who sensed that they can still win this. Shakhtar just hoping they can hold on for a point. That's a great ball in for Maida. Joy's wide, sliding in left-footed to the back post. Wonderful ball from Juranovic, and there was Maida on the stretch, but he couldn't force the ball on target. Another chance goes a-begging. It's still Shakhtar 1, Celtic 1.
Big chance, just overstretching for me. Just couldn't get the full contact on the ball with his left foot, and just slides by the post. Great run from Juranovic, and a pick out from Aaron Moy to put him in, and then that ball across. Just needed maybe a little bend on the ball. It was hit with pace. Very straight and just sliding, and just couldn't get his foot on that ball to direct it on target. Big finish from Celtic.
Well, they've definitely been the better side in the second period. They were the better side in the opening part of the first half as well, but as much as they would take a point to get them off and running in the Champions League, they would absolutely love the victory, and I've got to say, Pack, in the balance of play, they would deserve it.
Oh, they deserve it. They've made the chances. And some chances, and another day, you would probably expect them to score maybe 2 or 3 goals. Jota had big chances, Maeda and that big chance there. Yeah, if you start counting them all up.
There's Taylor, back heel, looking for Maida, but it'll just be seen out of play by Petriak, the right winger, back doing the defending, which tells you all about Shakhtar's frame of mind right at the moment. They will gladly take a point, you would imagine, from a game in which, for the most part, they have been second best, and Trubin taking his time over the goal kick tells you even more about how they feel about the point that they currently have.
Yeah, I don't think they would have expected to be 4 points at this stage after 2 games, so that's a real return for them. So they're happy with the point to Celtic. I think it's a good, decent point for Celtic also, if they can get it here in the final stage of this game.
Well, we were talking pre-match, Packy, just between ourselves about a point being a good one. Yeah. If your ambition is to maybe go into the Europa League, but probably if you've got ambitions of progressing in the Champions League, you need to be winning games like this.
Yeah, to a point, but I think they have their games coming up that I can see them beating Shakhtar at home if they keep creating the chances that they created against them, especially away from home here. They certainly can do it at Celtic Park with a crowd behind them, so they can take care of them. And then, of course, the other 2 games will be the critical ones. The Real Madrid game, you would expect Real Madrid, you're hoping anyway, that they beat everybody else along the way.
Yeah, doubleheader against Leipzig. First one of those is away from home in Germany at the start of October. And you would imagine, you would certainly be hoping, as you say, Packy, that Real Madrid take care of RB Leipzig themselves. Here's Carter Vickers. There's 5 minutes of added on time. We're inside that right now. Celtic still looking for what we feel would be a deserved winner, but at the moment it's 1-1. Out to Greg Taylor on the left-hand side, just a few yards inside the Shakhtar half. Back it goes to Jens, and out to the right-hand side for Carter Vickers. Carter Vickers steps forward. Shakhtar bringing everyone back behind the ball. Poor ball though from Yakimakis. It's up towards Traore. Shakhtar pinch possession. They didn't have to work too hard to get it. That's the problem for Celtic. And back it goes to Bondar. Bondar out to the left-hand side for Konoplia, crossing the halfway line. The fullback's done well this evening. And here's Matvienko. And Shakhtar just play the ball about in the midfield. Stepanenko out to the right-hand side for Lucas Taylor. The cruelest sting in the tail in this one would be if Shakhtar could find a winner. Stepanenko's gone down off the ball. Looks like either cramp or his hamstring's actually gone.
It's just cramp, but it's hamstring. He's been struggling for a little while there now to keep up to the pace of this game, so he's gone down. That'll add some more minutes on it, I would say, at this stage. The referee should be on top of it, so he'll know exactly what he has to add on here.
The ball is out on the far side for a throw-in to Celtic eventually. Whether they throw the ball back to Shakhtar, I'm not sure, but certainly time running out for Celtic for them to find a winner.
Yeah, I don't know how many chances, you might have them all written down, but there's a fair number of chances in that second half to finish this game off, and they weren't able to take them again.
Yeah, Giacomakis with the best of them, wasn't it?
But I think Jota also had a couple of really good chances, and with his quality, I thought he probably could have done well at the end of it. Great approach work, there's no doubt about it. Brilliant approach work at times, but just the final act, putting that ball in the back of the net, just wasn't there.
It's always the hardest one, isn't it? Really, putting the ball in the back of the net.
Maybe credit also to the defenders. I think the two centre halves for Shakhtar, Matvienko and Bondar, at times really defended well when called upon.
Off comes Stepanenko. I'm not sure if he's going to be replaced or if he's going to try and come back on for the closing. There's 90 seconds left of the 5 minutes, but surely, as Blackie said, there will be further time added on. Celtic do give the ball back to Shakhtar very sportingly, and it's all the way back through to Trubin, who will collect before Giacomakis approaches him.
Yeah, Stepanenko's just gone back in. He's almost gone into that forward position in midfield, and that's not his normal, but I don't think he can run anymore. So
Taylor gets his head to the clearance, knocked forward by Matvienko over the halfway line. Taylor once more on the end of it, nodded down by Stepanenko, played on, and Shakhtar will get the throw in on this near side, and the coach just telling his players to just take their time, slow things down, take a point and move on to 4 from their 2 games. As it's back with Bondar square for Matvienko. Celtic desperate for just one more opportunity in the closing. A few minutes of stoppage time. It's Juranovic picking up in the right back position. Gets it back from McGregor, but then overruns it, the Croatian, and Mudryk picks up for Shakhtar. Links with Traore. Surely they're not going to come forward and steal all 3 points, but it is out to Petriak on the right hand side, up against Taylor, coming in on the left foot. Can he clip that to the back post? Mudryk's there and he can't reach it, and is behind for a goal kick. Well, that would have been just awful for Celtic if they had lost a goal at the last few seconds, but fortunately for them it comes to nothing, and they pick up once more and try and mount a final attack. We are beyond those 5 minutes of stoppage time. There will be surely another 1 or 2 to be added for the injury to Stepanenko. Here's Turnbull for Taylor, left hand side, midway inside the Shakhtar half. Every man behind the ball for Shakhtar. It's Carter Vickers now, looking to find a way through. Back with Moy, still midway inside the Shakhtar half. Lifts it over the top. Giacomakis is there. It's going to be cleared off the line surely by Bondar. Giacomakis beat the goalkeeper to it, and rolling ever so slowly towards the line, and Bondar was able to get back and clear before it crossed the line. Celtic come once more on the right hand side. Abada looking to link with Juranovic. It slid clear as Shakhtar defend desperately to try and salvage this point. Back with Jens inside the centre circle. One more chance perhaps for Celtic. McGregor out to the right hand side. No, it's not to be. The referee blows up, and Shakhtar have somehow emerged from this game with a point. They fall to the deck. They have put so much into it defensively, but Celtic did all the pressing, looking for the winner, and just at the end there it looked like Giacomakis might well have found it as he beat the goalkeeper to the through ball, but there was Bondar to dig his keeper out of the hole and clear before it crossed the line. Giacomakis also had a brilliant chance in the second half, just about 5 minutes before the end of the 90 as it fell to him inside the penalty area, but he blasted the shot wide. That was certainly the best of a number of chances Celtic created in the second half. Jota was unplayable at times, creating opportunities for himself but unable to finish them. Maida slid one just wide when it looked like he would knock one in as well at the back post. The only goals did come in the first half. The first came when Rio Hatate in 11 minutes slid in, and the ball may have taken a last deflection of Bondarenko, but Hatate was the Celtic player who got the shot in on target. That was Celtic in front, deservedly so at that stage. Shakhtar came back into it, and Mudryk levelled things on the half-hour mark with a lovely finish to make it 1 each, and that was the end to the scoring. But Celtic, as I say, will feel that they deserve the victory. They should have found a second goal. Shved, their former player, did have a goal disallowed in the first half as well, but that was correctly chopped off. But Celtic will feel that this was a real opportunity to get that third win away from home in the Champions League. Out of 34 games, it wasn't to be, and so they have just the 1 point to show for their efforts in the opening two games in which they've performed very well at times, but it wasn't to be, and it finishes in Warsaw. Shakhtar Donetsk 1, Celtic 1.